The top real estate agents I know in the country are so boring, and that's why they're successful. Let me tell you why. Hi, I'm your friend and favorite real estate agent, Steve Shane here, gonna bring you the uncut, unedited truth on how to grow your real estate business and team bigger, faster, and stronger. Everything we're talking about is not theory, it's fact. It's what we're using in our business every day to scale our business. Just to give you a quick update on what we're doing with our team. It's February 2022. Last year we did about 34 units where it was a light early start to the business. We are already at 55% of what we did all of last year. So in 2 months, we have done more than half of what we did in all last year. Momentum, momentum, momentum. It's so exciting. Beyond that, let's talk about why real estate is incredibly boring. Because real estate is so boring if you're doing it right. I was on a mastermind yesterday with 300 plus of the top EXP agents from across the country. Thanks Kyle Whistle and Dan Beer for always hosting that. If you're interested in that, DM me, let me know. But here's what we were talking about. The question on the mastermind was about the buyer rep agreement. And we all know that piece of paper isn't really enforceable. It can be, and when we're talking about the average real estate commission below 200, below 300, to go legally fight for that, most of us are not going to go do that. But that really wasn't the conversation. It was about tactically, how do we go about presenting this to our buyers so they can see our value. And guys, this conversation is going to be really important coming up if the DOJ rules against basically how we've been paid for forever. And if you need more information about that, just Google. Google's an amazing thing. Buyer compensation is going to change in the next 3 to 5 years, very, very soon. So it's really important that how do we show our value? How do we establish our value to our buyers? And how do we make sure that they're loyal to us? Because we're going to invest all this time, gas money, energy into helping them out. So we want them to sign a buyer representation agreement that says, hey, I'm only working with you. Well, that's really important. That's really valuable for us, not so much for the consumer. So what was interesting about this mastermind is, out of these hundreds of agents, a bunch of us were sharing our experiences and how we portray this value to everybody. And I was thinking, man, why are we talking about this? We're talking about these are the most elite agents in the country. And then it reminded me of a quote from Will Smith. It's, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. Don't have to get ready if you stay ready. And it reminded me that the top athletes in their game, the top, artists in their game, the top salespeople in their game, they're always doing the fundamentals, the ABCs of their business. Seth Curry, phenomenal basketball player. He's shooting free throws every single day. It's the most basic thing he can do, but he's practicing his form. So perfect practice makes perfect performance, right? So if we're talking about sales, the basics that we should be doing is, am I reading my script daily? Am I practicing my script daily? Am I role-playing my script daily with somebody who is at my level or above so I can constantly be growing? But I have to do that every single day so I can stay ready instead of getting ready. So it came to me that real estate is boring because we have the same transaction we're going to do over and over and over again. Are there variables? Absolutely. But basically, it's the same fill-in-the-blank contract that you're going to do. Here are the possible things that could go wrong. Here are the possible things that could go right. And we are going to continue to do this over and over and over again. We're making hamburgers, folks. We're making hamburgers. So how do we take this thing that's incredibly repetitive and perfect it? Well, that's where mastery comes in. Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, talks about taking your skill that you're working on and just becoming enamored and in love with it and learning the process and falling in love with the process, not the result. And I think that's the biggest challenge for us entrepreneurial real estate agents is we love shiny objects and dopamine. Shiny objects and dopamine will get us off track so quickly. And I'm absolutely 100% a victim of this. Not a victim, it was my choice. I'm a victim of myself. But this is something I've experienced where, okay, once I get past this level, I've graduated. I don't need to do that anymore. I've got my buyer rep agreement. I don't have to do that big presentation anymore. I don't have to go to the coffee shop. I don't have to do the seller strategy session. I don't have to do all those things because I've graduated, because I'm better than that. And I've been there and I've done that. And granted, was I still successful? Yes. And did I lose a bunch? Yeah. Would have I lost that if I had a better system? Probably not. Because systems are the things that let us know where we are moving. If I've got a stable system that I use every single time and something goes off, I can say, oh, this is what happened, therefore I need to make an adjustment to the system, or this is just a variable that was out of my control and therefore I'll stick with my system. Because the system is what works. And when we're making it by the seat of our pants, we're actually not helping our clients because we want to deliver all the value. You forget stuff when you're flying by the seat of your pants. So when we're talking about getting a buyer representation agreement, we're also talking about, this is how I establish value. I'm sitting down and I'm walking through this process. And what was really fascinating about the mastermind was a bunch of people were sharing their experience and they were basically doing their spiel, to hundreds of people. It's like, this is how I establish value. And they went into the mode, and it's like somebody flipped a switch and they went into the script like, this is what we do, this is how we do it, blah 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 blah. And you could see how they were going through the checklist and how they were creating the package of value that they were going to deliver. So once they hand over that piece of paper that says, hey, do you want to work with me? That person's like, of course I do, because you've shown me all the things you're going to be doing for me. And therefore, I'm not signing a buyer representation agreement because this is the right legal thing to do. I'm signing that buyer representation agreement because I trust you are going to help me with the most important real estate decision of my life. So when we break it down to that, we have to think about, where are the block and tackle, base hit, simple focus things that we need to do? What are our free throws in our business? Are we practicing our buyer representation agreement speech? Are we practicing our listing presentation speech? Are we practicing scripts when they're coming in? Because at the end of the day, what our job is to communicate at the highest level. So we should be practicing communication constantly. And if you're not blocking that time on your calendar to do it, it's not going to get done, And so that was my lesson from that, and I hope it resonates with you. Because when we get to the basics and we do the basics, we don't have to get ready. We don't have to get ready for appointment because we are always ready. So somebody calls us and says, hey, I need this to happen. I need you to show up and tell me about the real estate market. I can get to that coffee shop. It's scripted. It's perfected. I've got my materials, whether it's digital or paper, always ready. So on a moment's notice, I can perform at the highest level. Because that's what's going to separate me from the other agents. And at the end of the day, we all know that most people work with the first agent they talk to. Well, if they're going to talk to me, I want them to get the best possible real estate experience they can have because of my years of knowledge and my experience, and my team needs to be able to translate that as well. But I've got brand new agents, so how do they ride the coattails of my experience? Well, I have to systematize that. I have to teach them how to say what I would say with systems, with a framework, so they can do that. And then I have to reinforce that through practicing and running the drill over and over and over again and making it really boring. But the reason we do it is because that's what works. That's what's effective. And that's how we always win. Like we said, compensation is going to change really soon for buyers, So if you're not preparing for that now, if you're not getting ready, you won't be ready. Guys, I'm your friend and favorite real estate agent, Steve Shane here, saying thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, the like button, smash the notification bell so we can stay in touch. This is the Daily Steve. Have a great day.